Hello, campus community. Thank you for joining me today for our second BC Update. Each Thursday, you'll receive a link to our updates where a member from our executive team will serve as a host. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to pause and reflect. Many of us are potentially directly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, beyond our physical limitations. Our community is now experiencing a surge of cases, which you may be a part of, or may have already experienced yourself. I pray that each of you will remain healthy. And I hope that you are implementing the health safety guidance provided by our local, state, and national leaders. This is an opportune time for us to illustrate our values, to show that we are a caring community, to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our neighbors. Please continue to be diligent in your safety. As you've seen, we are consistently communicating updates across campus. These updates reflect the most recent needs of our community. Today, I'm going to reiterate some of these items, as well as share some of the proactive planning that we have in place. To start, I want to share some important academic updates. Last week, we introduced the pass, non-pass grading option for this spring semester. Briefly, students have the option to change individual courses to pass, non-pass grading. You can make that choice after seeing your final course grades and will have until May 20th to make that determination. Because it is complex in determining if it is a good or a poor choice, I sent out an email to the campus community on April 15th outlining what each of you should consider to make a good decision. You'll need to communicate with your academic advisor, and if you're a student athlete, also your coach. They will help advise you in making good choices. Please refer back to that April 15th email during this process. In addition, we're planning ahead for this fall. We're working on preparing contingencies regardless of what is happening with COVID-19. For example, we ask that you be prepared with face masks for this summer or this fall in the event that we are able to physically reopen campus. Given the uncertainty over what could happen with the spread of COVID-19, we're working on scenarios to cover all possibilities, from the campus being physically open all of fall, which we hope for, to needing to transition from us being open to being shut down, and also to being fully online. Unfortunately, we just cannot predict what the fall might be like at this point in time, so need to be prepared for all possibilities to ensure the best experience possible for everyone. In light of this uncertainty, we have made the decision that our courses this summer will all be held online. In addition, some of you asked for information about accessing books and articles online. Our library services remain available to support you virtually throughout all this time. In today's email, we've included helpful links to our library guides, short videos or modules, as well as other resources that are all available electronically, including articles, ebooks, and films on demand. In order to end this semester as successfully as possible, many of you are likely realizing by now that time management has been critical. Keeping track of when assignments are due and planning ahead to allow necessary time to read, prepare, and complete those assignments. If you find yourself struggling, please reach out to your instructor for advice and assistance. Your advisor and the Compass are also there to broadly support you if you're struggling in your coursework. Please do reach out to someone if you need help. We are all here to help support you. Next, I'd like to review some of our plans around commencement. We know that the need to delay our commencement ceremony is not what any of us had in mind this year. However, we need to protect our community. We still want to celebrate the class of 2020. For that reason, we rescheduled commencement to be homecoming weekend, Sunday, September 27th. Our homecoming activities will mostly be centered around Saturday, September 26th. For that Sunday, we'll start the day with Mass at 9 in the morning and have the commencement ceremony at 1:30 in the afternoon. Departmental ceremonies, such as pinning for nursing and hooding for DPT, are also being rescheduled for that weekend. Our honors convocation, normally celebrated in the spring, will be celebrated virtually. Individuals recognized in this will be contacted by the university to provide photos that we can use to help share your accomplishments broadly. More information on that will be provided soon. Throughout this summer, we'll be celebrating our senior class. So if you do hear from a Briar Cliff University team member, please engage with them and share information so that we can help recognize and celebrate you. Next, I would like to review some important campus updates. As I mentioned earlier, we are seeing a surge of cases in the Siouxland community. Due to this increase, we are activating additional campus precautions. With great regret, due to the ongoing pandemic, we are not going to be able to have summer housing available this summer. We're implementing a plan to have our campus residents move out and to have those who have moved to return and collect their belongings. This plan is designed to stagger the number of people on campus at any given time to help protect everyone's health and safety. Please watch your email for further information on this that will be provided by Dave Arns. A confidential health form will be part of this that must be filled out and submitted prior to you returning to campus. A link for this form is included in today's email and was also in the last week's BCUpdate. In addition, we would like to remind you that we are not allowing visitors to campus in order to protect those students who are still living on campus and our essential employees who are working on campus. If you have moved off campus and need to return, you must get prior authorization to return to campus. Please contact Dave Arns in Housing and Joe Morgan, our Director of Health Services, through the health forms. We need to limit the amount of people we have coming to campus to those who are considered essential and those who are current residents to protect all of them. You are what makes Briar Cliff University, and your health and safety are our top priority. Now, I would like to take a moment to welcome President Rochelle Karstens to review additional plans being discussed for the fall. She is coming to us live from Themyscira after a diplomatic meeting with Wonder Woman.
Thank you, Dr. Knealing. I wish. Actually, I'm coming to you live from my office at home. So, but you got to be thankful for Zoom backgrounds that help lighten the mood just a little bit for all of us. So I hope those of you who are here in the Midwest are all enjoying this much needed sunshine. Thank you for joining us today for our second BC update, planned for every Thursday afternoon for the foreseeable future. I'm going to touch briefly on two topics, refunds and the fall. First, plans for the fall. As you can imagine, we are eager. We are as eager as you to finalize plans for the fall, and Dr. Knealing talked a little bit about that during his remarks. As you could also imagine, we simply don't have enough concrete information to know yet what this fall will bring. We are excitedly planning for on-campus living and learning as usual, but we are also finalizing contingency plans in the event this pandemic prevents us from a typical fall opening. We are focusing on the safety of our campus community while at the same time maximizing learning. I have numerous meetings each week with various presidents and higher education leaders across the country, as well as health officials, to review recommendations, and we will continue to update you. Thank you for your continued patience. We are just as excited as you to get back to normal here on the Cliff. Second, let's discuss refunds. Last week, I mentioned we were very close to finalizing the refund strategy as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. I appreciate your patience as we awaited the final guidelines of the financial aid governing bodies. This guidance has been changing daily and sometimes hourly, and we want to be sure to establish the best plan for our students, where you will not be penalized in any way from a financial aid perspective. We did receive the rules and regulations from the federal government yesterday, and will be finalizing the communications to all of you in the coming days. Refunds will be calculated individually by student, determined by several factors. Eligible students will receive a personalized email notification, including directions for forwarding monies to the student and other options. We recognize that this pandemic has disrupted your experience here at the Cliff, and we hope these monies will provide you and your family some relief. We ask for your continued patience as we respond to your questions and finalize this plan. we continue to strive to provide the best service we can for you. This has been a very challenging time for all of us, and it's not over yet. I know some of your family members have experienced furloughs, reductions in hours at work, and even lost jobs as a result of COVID-19 and its impact on the economy. We continue to pray for you, your family, and our communities. While times have been unexpected and difficult, I am inspired by our ability to adapt and adjust. Our faculty and students transitioned to online learning in just days. Our staff members have adapted their work environments to be as safe as possible, and our campus has been flexible and caring as we adhere to all safety recommendations. We are truly stronger together as a caring community. Thank you.
Thank you, President Karstens. Now I would like to welcome Matt Thompson, Vice President for Enrollment Management, to provide an enrollment update.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Knealing. Appreciate that. And hello, Cliff community. I am here today to talk about a couple things and definitely positive news. I'm talking about our online orientations and also an enrollment update, quick enrollment update. So the first is our first virtual online orientation that was held last Friday. I'm happy to report that we had 30 students sign up for it. This was our first one. Last year, our first one, we had 21. So we had more students, which is great. We had 100% participation, which is even better. It went great. The students loved it. I actually talked to a couple earlier this week that really enjoyed it. I just have to say again, it was an across-campus effort with admissions and Compass taking the lead on this, and it has just worked out beautifully. Also, what I love is this group developed a few tweaks from the surveys they got from the students on Friday to turn that around and include those for this Friday's. This Friday's event that we're going to be hosting will have 23 students as of right now signed up, 12 last year for the second orientation. So just if you were keeping track, we are right now running 20 ahead of where we were last year with the first two orientations for our freshman and transfer number. So some encouraging news there. Another really neat part about orientation that I like to mention is that this group that has formed this orientation process has now actually engaged the online continuing education group to formulate and plan what an orientation will look like for our online students as well using the same format. So part of that continuous process improvement that we've been pushing and striving for here. So that's another neat piece. So also as we look at enrollment, what we want to do is we want to look at, again, the visits side. I like to bring up this virtual visits that we've added. Again, starting March 26th, we added those. It's been kind of fun to say to people, oh, the number is this. And then by afternoon, I'm saying a completely different number because it's risen up. So as we started today and as I was getting numbers put together, we were at 102. If you remember last week, I mentioned 85. And actually right before I came on here, I got an update. We were at 107. So this is something that is continually happening. It's something that's continually adding to it. And we're getting a lot of traction with it and the students seem to be enjoying it. So that's definitely positive. Our Future Chargers Facebook page, we're up to 122 followers at this point. What's really neat is we are showing some love to our seniors who unfortunately, are forced with maybe no graduations, no proms, different pieces like that, and making sure that we're showing them the love from BCU, making sure we're excited to know that they're going to be here this fall. And then the one last enrollment piece, which obviously is going to be positive because of the fact that we are running ahead in our orientations. We are running ahead right now in our freshman and transfer numbers as compared to last year. So currently we are staying at 47 students. Last year we were at 38 students. Again, we're off a little bit just in terms of timing. We also have some things off in timing with some of our grad programs right now as we get students registered. Last year we were ahead a little bit, as you can imagine. Some of the programs are getting a late start due to the pandemic. And so we will get those caught up over the next couple of weeks here. So some nice positive news coming from the enrollment side, and hopefully we maintain that throughout the summer. Students are excited, they're future focused, and that's what we're aiming for here as well. So we can't wait to see the whites of their eyes.
Thank you, Matt. I am headed now across the quad to the Newman Flanagan Center to welcome Nick Scandrett, Athletic Director, to provide an update.
Thank you, Dr. Knealing, and hello, Chargers. I know we all miss our sports and we're eager to get them back. And perhaps the most frequently question I get over the last month is what impact COVID-19 is going to have on the fall 2020 season. As of today, we're planning on for a typical fall season. And although I tend to be optimistic, I think everybody understands that the information is very fluid, as President Karstens and Dr. Knealing have already touched on. The GPAC athletic directors and presidents have been very collaborative over the last month in developing these contingency plans, and I know that'll continue for as long as needed. But despite not having concrete information or answers, I can promise two things. Number one, we're always going to prioritize the health and safety of our student athletes in any decisions that are made. And number two, any decisions that would alter the fall 2020 season or beyond will be a joint decision between the GPAC and NAIA. In looking ahead to the fall, similar to what Matt just spoke to, is recruiting is going very well across the board in athletics in terms of both numbers and talent, which really gives me a lot of optimism for our upcoming seasons. I've been pleasantly surprised from the athletics perspective, to echo Matt's point about virtual campuses or virtual campus visits. They're going extremely well. I think I'd like to give a lot of kudos to our coaches for the relentless pursuit and recruiting future Chargers, but also to the admissions team and Matt for their hard and innovative work. It's truly been inspiring to see the collaboration and creativity as we navigate the new paradigm in athletics recruitment. The thing that the event that I am most disappointed to cancel this spring was the Champions of Character Banquet. We do not want to miss the opportunity to recognize our student athletes for their accomplishments in academics, community service, and athletics. While we're not going to be able to do it in person, we're still going to host it in a virtual platform. And so I would invite all of you to join us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and such, throughout this week, which really started on Monday, as we've announced the top 4 finalists for each of the awards that you can see on the background behind me that are being announced throughout the week. We're going to announce the actual winners on April 28th. So mark your calendars and check that out. These student athletes have worked extremely hard, and we're really excited to highlight their accomplishments. And we appreciate your time for this update.
Thank you, Nick. Live from outside of Noonan Hall and maintaining appropriate social distancing, I want to welcome Tina Stroud, Vice President of University Relations, to discuss Toast to the Tassel.
Thank you, Dr. Knealing, and hello, Chargers. To continue the conversations of celebrations, we need your help in recognizing and making the class of 2020 feel very special, as their world has been interrupted. Toast to the Tassel, which is an event that we host every year, was scheduled originally for May 5th as an in-person event. Since our graduates are unable to celebrate in person, we're creating a virtual Toast to the Tassel to recognize them. I would like to invite faculty and staff to join us in recognizing this class. All you need to do is simply raise your glass to toast the class of 2020 and all of their accomplishments. It could be a simple thing as simple as taking a photo of yourself or a video of you raising your glass, such as this with a Diet Pepsi. Congratulations. It's very, very simple, but I would ask that you would submit your videos to April 29th to the link that is provided in this email. It's important that our graduates know how much we celebrate their accomplishments, even though we're not able to do so in person in May. We will do that in September, but next month, we can do this together. So I'd encourage you to submit your video. I would also mention that our office has partnered with Dr. Knealing and the student government to host a virtual program for our graduates, offering advice to navigate this unknown world around virtual interviewing. So it will be held next Wednesday, April 29th from 3 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time via Zoom. There'll be a panel of alumni that will feature professions in a Fortune 500 company recruiter, a CEO of a community college, and an HR specialist who specializes in healthcare industry. Students, we encourage you to watch your email for more information on how to log on to learn successful tips that you might need from these established leaders in their industries as you begin your career search.
Thank you, Tina. As we approach the end of the semester, I want to take a moment to review all you have accomplished. I'm incredibly proud of everyone's tenacity and willingness to adjust throughout this pandemic. Keep up the hard work and finish strong this semester. Remember, we are here to support you. Please contact your instructors, your advisors, or the Compass. We are all here for you. Now, I would like to invite Sister Pat, Vice President for Mission and Leadership, to share a closing prayer.
Thank you, Dr. Knealing. It's good to be able to connect with each of you in this way today. And before we pray, I want to let you know that our sisters at Mount St. Francis in Dubuque are currently very much in solidarity with each of you. I am grateful to call these wise and faithful women my sisters. And as members of the community that established Briar Cliff, they are your sisters as well. Currently, they are living in a very stringent lockdown in order to remain safe during this time. If you visit the Sisters of St. Francis of Dubuque Facebook page, you will see that, like all of us, they are making the best of the situation. But most of all, rest assured that their love and care for each and every one of you is expressed in their daily prayers for our Briar Cliff family and for the needs of the entire world during this global crisis. Please hold them in your prayers as well. Now, let's pause and unite our hearts in a moment of prayer together. Lord Jesus Christ, you are our constant hope and gentle healer. Be merciful to us and bring us your help in these troubled times. We beg you to heal all illnesses and every affliction of your people. Bring wholeness to our spirits as well as our bodies. Free us from all disease, and especially from this deadly virus. Gracious God, we place in your gentle heart the most vulnerable in our world, the elderly, the frail, people with disabilities, and those with addictions, our children, our young people and families, our indigenous peoples, those who are poor, lonely, and isolated, and especially those affected by violence and abuse. As you walk with all of us, free us from fear and give us patience and hope to sustain us. In your mercy, O God, call us to deeper faith in you and greater generosity in caring for one another. Open our minds and hearts so that we may say yes to your call to conversion and new life in this Easter season, no matter what form that may take. We place our trust in you, the risen Lord, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you. And thank you again for joining us today. We welcome you to provide future questions or topic ideas through the link provided in today's email. Next week, Tim Funk, Vice President for Finance and Administration, will host the update. Have a good evening.